Welcome to Mylock's world. Hold on to your digital wallets, folks. The crypto world is buzzing with excitement. Tom Lee, a big shot in the financial world, just dropped a bombshell. He says Bitcoin could hit $150,000 by the end of the year. That's right, $150,000. It's a number that's making heads spin and wallets tingle. This prediction isn't just some random guess. It's based on careful analysis and market trends. But before we all start planning our crypto-funded retirements, let's take a deep breath. We need to understand what's behind this bold prediction. Now you might be wondering, who is this Tom Lee guy? And why should we care what he thinks? Tom Lee is the co-founder and head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors. Before that, he was the top equity strategist at JP Morgan. In other words, this guy knows his stuff when it comes to money and markets. He was one of the first Wall Street strategists to take cryptocurrencies seriously. When others were dismissing Bitcoin as a fad, Tom was crunching numbers and making predictions. He's made some spot-on calls about Bitcoin's price movements in the past. That's why his $150,000 prediction is causing such a stir. Now, before we get too excited about Bitcoin hitting $150,000, we need to address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the bear in the market. Because right now, we're in what crypto folks call a crypto winter. Bitcoin, once the high-flying star of the crypto world, has taken a bit of a nosedive. From its all-time high of nearly $69,000 in November 2021, it's dropped significantly. As of today, it's hovering around $30,000. So, what caused this slump? Well, it's a perfect storm of factors. First, there's the broader economic downturn. Inflation is up, interest rates are rising, and people are tightening their belts. Then, there were the high-profile collapses in the crypto world, like the FTX exchange. But here's the thing about crypto winters. They don't last forever. Just like real winter eventually gives way to spring, crypto markets have a history of bouncing back. So what could possibly make Bitcoin skyrocket from $30,000 to $150,000? First up, there's the Bitcoin halving event coming up in 2024. Every 4 years, the reward for mining new Bitcoin gets cut in half. This makes Bitcoin scarcer, which historically has led to price increases. The last two halvings were followed by significant bull runs. Then there's the growing interest from institutional investors. We're talking big banks, hedge funds, and even some governments. They're starting to see Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class. Lastly, there's the broader economic picture. With inflation concerns and geopolitical uncertainties, some investors are looking at Bitcoin as a potential safe haven. If more people start seeing Bitcoin as a hedge against economic instability, it could lead to increased adoption and higher prices. Of course, this is all speculative. Section 5. Historical trends and market cycles. Now let's take a trip down memory lane. Bitcoin has gone through several major market cycles since its inception in 2009. Each cycle typically consists of a bull run, followed by a bear market. And here's the kicker, each cycle has ended with Bitcoin reaching a new all-time high. Let's look at some numbers. In 2011, Bitcoin hit a high of about $31. Then came a crash, followed by a recovery that saw it reach $1,100 in 2013. The next cycle peaked at nearly $20,000 in 2017, and in 2021, we saw that crazy high of almost $69,000. See the pattern? Each peak is significantly higher than the last. On average, it takes about 4 years from one peak to the next. If we count from the 2021 peak, that puts us right around the end of this year. Section 6. The role of institutional adoption. Now let's talk about the big boys entering the playground. I'm talking about institutional investors. These are the Wall Street suits, the big banks, the hedge funds. Companies like MicroStrategy and Tesla have added Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Investment giants like Fidelity are offering Bitcoin services. Even traditional banks are dipping their toes in the crypto waters. When these respected financial institutions start taking Bitcoin seriously, it changes how people view it. Tom Lee sees this institutional adoption as a key driver for Bitcoin's potential surge to $150,000. Section 7. Regulatory landscape and its impact. Alright, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, regulations. The regulatory landscape can make or break crypto markets, and it's a big factor in Tom Lee's $150,000 prediction. For years, Bitcoin operated in a kind of regulatory gray area. But now, governments around the world are starting to pay attention. Some countries, like El Salvador, have embraced Bitcoin with open arms. Others, like China, have given it the cold shoulder, and many, including the US, are still figuring out how to handle this digital gold rush. Clear regulations can bring more stability and legitimacy to the market. Tom Lee seems to be betting on a more positive regulatory outcome. But predicting what governments will do is about as easy as herding cats. Section 8. Investor Strategies in a Volatile Market. So, you've heard Tom Lee's prediction, you've seen the potential catalysts, and now you're thinking, should I bet the farm on Bitcoin? Investing in Bitcoin isn't like buying a lottery ticket. It requires strategy, and in a market as volatile as crypto, strategy is key. First things first, diversification. Even if you believe in Tom Lee's $150,000 prediction, it's wise to spread your bets. Maybe put some money in Bitcoin, some in other cryptocurrencies, and keep some in traditional investments. Next, consider dollar cost averaging. This is a fancy way of saying buy a little bit regularly instead of trying to time the market. Bitcoin's price can swing wildly from day to day. By buying a fixed amount at regular intervals, you can smooth out those swings. Another strategy is to set clear goals and stick to them. Decide in advance at what price you'll sell some of your Bitcoin. Lastly, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because in the world of Bitcoin, the house doesn't always win, but it sure can take your money if you're not careful. Section 9. Balancing optimism with caution. Is $150,000 realistic? Alright, we've come to the million-dollar question. Is Tom Lee's prediction realistic? On the optimistic side, we've got some compelling factors. The historical trend of Bitcoin reaching new highs after each cycle, the growing institutional adoption, the upcoming halving event, the potential for favorable regulations. When you put all these together, $150,000 doesn't seem completely out of reach. But we need to temper this optimism with some cold, hard reality. The current economic climate is uncertain. Going from $30,000 to $150,000 would require a massive influx of capital. So, what's the verdict? $150,000 Bitcoin is possible, but it's far from guaranteed.